as I was pretty much doing nothing almost a week ago, relaxing, as I had nothing important to do. Aside from school stuff that wouldn't take more than an hour to finish. I got a notification from a friend. He had sent me a screenshot and it was something I wasn't expecting. At the start my selective reading only caught some of the information.
Towers generally shouldn't have ignore resistance, as that can become very overpowered. I'm probably just going to remove it from XWM as a whole.
At the start I was wondering, is that truly a good idea? That was the only thing that made her an actually good tower. Without that she would just be a juggernaut with more range and survivability. Would she suffer the same fate as Toxignator? So I had decided to search on what made XWM deserve this balance changes, as I thought she didn't deserve it. Spoiler, she does. There are not really a lot of different opinions about XWM. If you ask people that know enough about the game, they will say that she is a very bad tower, as she can be outclassed by a lot of other towers, that she is only useful in gamma modes with a very good economy due to the price scaling. Meanwhile, less experienced players would say that she is the most top tower, being a jack of all trades with true damage, flying and hidden detection, splash damage, big range and even good survivability. In paper she seems like the best tower to ever exist in TDX. Or is she? In reality, all of those good things will easily be done better or cheaper by other towers. But even if she manages to be better at something, she has 3 major problems that renders her useless in the long run. This is a very obvious flaw XWM has, as by each maxed XWM you get, the price will increase by 5,000. This reduces her cost efficiency a lot with each max XWM you get. This by itself is a big issue, as getting the 40 XWMs in solo would make it so the last upgrade for the level 40 XWM would be almost as expensive as a max warship. Which it's clearly not a good investment. But it gets way worse. Because even if one XWM dies, the price scaling won't go down, it will stay the same. This basically means that theoretically XWM's last upgrade cost 1 million. But staying on realistic values, the last upgrade for the last XWM is almost worth a warship. It's something that is clearly not good for a DPS tower. This is actually her smallest issue that could be brushed off if you learn how to squeeze towers in some places. Her footprint is of 3.2 while Golden Juggernaut has a footprint of 2.25, but as I said, this is a minor issue, as it's reasonable for the survivability she gets, but this gets her off any map that is too small or lacks good spots for her. Buffs is something that easily limits her capacities as a tower, as her 1.1k DPS is the maximum she can have. Meanwhile other towers like Golden Juggernaut and even regular Juggernaut with the help of medic can easily get 4500 DPS and 2475 DPS each. In their true damage paths they get 1800 DPS and 900 DPS each, while also being way cheaper and smaller options for DPS. Her survivability isn't so impressive when you see that medic can heal towers from attacks of enemies and even make them immortal without a need of repair time. This even gives you the advantage on picking exactly what towers you want to save. All of this allows all your towers to have a way better survivability. And for her range, there are support towers that help Golden Juggernaut get a big effective range. Now that we see the full picture of the state of her and her use in game, XWM doesn't look anymore as a cheap jack of all trades, right? Well, now let's go to the second part of this video. Well, turns out while I was gathering footage for this part of the video, John leaked another thing about her rebalance, and it seems she will be getting 4 rebuilds now instead of 3, meaning, She gets basically 5 lives instead of the 4 she had before the balance changes, and in the second upgrade of top or bottom path, we still don't know which one, she will get true damage. With this and John's message, we can assume that XWM will be getting a rebalance, so she is mostly a good tower for early to mid-game, but she might also have her last upgrades rebalanced so she isn't as good in endgame as she was before the price scaling. We are still not sure about this, but it's still a possibility. As it was stated by John himself, XWM will be meta at early game. What will make her early game meta are the facts that she has air detection at level 0, true damage at level 2, as said before we don't know which path, and even better survivability with 4 rebuilds, and probably a tiny change to the rebuild time she has, and finally her big range. Compared to other early game towers like Golden Ranger, she unlocks true damage at level 2 while Golden Ranger has no true damage and smaller range. Nightmare enemies might have a high laser resistance that could cause Golden Ranger to be useless, just like normal Ranger against enemies with bullet resistance, and of course that Golden Ranger doesn't have flying detection until later on. Meanwhile, comparing her to AA Turret, she might outclass AA Turret as she would also be able to attack ground enemies, and if any flying enemy has high explosive resistance it would be cheaper to let XWM do the job rather than letting bottom path AA Turret to do the job, as XWM would be cheaper, bigger range and also have higher DPS. As we still have little to no information about how her upgrades will be, we can assume that from mid-game to late game, XWM will stop being as reliable as she was in early game. The reason why I assume this is that in mid-game the economy of a gamma mode is usually enough to get AA turrets to a good level to shred flying enemies and better DPS towers like a Golden Juggernaut with some support towers. Her performance in endgame is definitely going to be nerfed, as basing this in John's first message she will get her true damage removed at max path, and AA turret would also start performing an even better job, as based on John's other message AA turret will be important to survive late game. This might be because, as AA turret can only attack air enemies and it's able to shred them in matter of seconds, it wouldn't be affected by any ground enemy distracting it or killing it. As in late game you already would have good DPS towers placed down to kill all the ground enemies before they get a chance of killing the AA turrets, allowing them to safely kill any flying enemies.